Hi, this is Miss DeVito, and today I'm going to show you how to make fresh ravioli and tortellini using fresh homemade pasta dough. For this recipe, you will need 8 eggs, 3 cups of all-purpose flour, a tablespoon of salt, and a tablespoon of olive oil. I'm going to prepare this pasta dough using my stand mixer with the dough hook attachment. So in the mixing bowl, I'm going to add my flour and I'm going to add my salt. I'm just going to take a fork and mix these ingredients together. Next, I'm going to take my eggs and I'm just going to lightly whisk them so that I can break up all of the yolks before I incorporate it into my flour. I'm going to add my little bit of olive oil here, and then I'm just going to make a little well inside of the bowl and add my egg mixture. From there, I'm going to attach the bowl to my stand mixer. I'm going to let the mixer do the work for me. I'm going to keep mixing this until it forms a ball of dough. If for some reason you feel like the pasta dough is very dry, you can add small amounts of to help bring it together. I'm going to knead the dough for about 8 to 10 minutes until it's nice and smooth. I actually cut it in half so it was a little bit more manageable for me. So I did each piece for about 8 to 10 minutes until it was nice and smooth. Then I wrapped it in plastic wrap and put it in the refrigerator for 30 minutes to let it rest. In the meantime, I'm going to make my fillings for my ravioli and my tortellini. So first, spinach ravioli filling. You are going to take 8 ounces of frozen chopped spinach, 1 small container, about 1 pound of part skim ricotta, salt and pepper to taste, half a cup of shredded mozzarella, a quarter of a cup of grated Parmesan, 1 clove of minced garlic, and 1 egg. To prepare the filling, I'm going to take my drained frozen chopped spinach and I'm going to combine it with my ricotta cheese. I'm going to start to mix it really well, and then I'm going to add my 2 cheeses and my minced garlic along with salt and pepper to taste. You don't want to add the egg yet because you want to be able to taste this mixture for seasoning, and if the egg is in there, there's a possibility of salmonella poisoning because you'll be tasting it with a raw egg in it. The egg is a necessary component to the stuffing because it helps add a nice creaminess to the filling. I'm going to put my filling into a pastry bag and then I'm going to set it aside for when my dough is ready to roll out. Next, I'm going to prepare my sausage filling for my tortellini. For this recipe, you're going to need 1 pound of ground sausage or ground pork, 1 egg that's going to act as a binder, a quarter of a cup of grated Parmesan cheese, 1 clove of garlic minced, and then a 1/4 teaspoon each of salt, pepper, onion powder, garlic powder. I'm just going to take all of these ingredients, combine them really well, and refrigerate it until I'm ready to prepare my tortellini. If you did not want to put meat or you wanted to put a different kind of meat like turkey or ground chicken in your tortellini, you could. You could also use the spinach filling or just a cheese filling. So now it's time to roll out my dough using the attachment for my KitchenAid machine. I'm going to take 1/3 of the dough. I'm going to work it a little bit with my hands. I'm going to put a little bit of flour on it so that it doesn't stick in my machine. And I'm going to pass it through on the largest setting about 3 or 4 times, folding it in half or thirds after each pass. Then I'm going to continue to increase the numbers, and as I do that, the sheet gets thinner and thinner and longer. I'm going to stop when I get to number 6 because that's when the dough is very thin and very translucent. From there, I'm going to pipe my spinach filling onto my sheet of pasta dough. You can see that I place the filling about 2 finger lengths apart and about 2 finger lengths from the bottom of the pasta sheet. After I finish putting my filling, I'm going to take an egg wash, whether it's a whole egg or just an egg white or an egg yolk, and I'm going to brush it around the spinach filling. I'm going to fold the top half of the pasta dough down over the filling to match the bottom of the pasta sheet, and then I'm going to press all the way around the ravioli so I can make sure that I get all of the air out of it and they are each individually sealed. Now I'm going to get ready to cut the ravioli. So you can use a pizza cutter, a ravioli crimped wheel, or just a paring knife in order to cut these. You can also use a cookie cutter or a cup or a lid of a jar to cut these. This shape is really your decision. Just make sure that before you cut them, they are sealed, right? That egg wash helped glue the two sides together, but you want to make sure that they are really sealed individually. After you have cut them all, you're going to place them onto a well-floured sheet pan just to let them dry out a little bit before we cook them. You can also freeze them at this point in a nice single layer and use them in the future. If you're looking for a more perfect ravioli shape, you can buy a ravioli maker where you lay the sheets of dough onto the press and fill them, and they make about 12 at a time. Next, we're going to fill our tortellini. So these are another free-form shape, and what I'm doing is I'm just squaring off the dough. Any dough that you have rolled out, just put on the side covered, and you can re-roll it again later on. What I'm doing is I'm cutting it so that I can make about 3 by 3 inch squares for the ravioli. All right, so I'm just kind of eyeballing it. You want to get as close to a square as possible because you're going to fold these into a triangular shape. From there, I'm going to take my egg white. Again, if you have whole egg or if you have egg yolk, that's fine as well. I'm just going to take my egg wash and I'm going to brush each of the squares. I'm going to put about a tablespoon of filling on each of the squares and then I'm going to fold them. So I'm going to take my square, I'm going to fold it in half, right, into a triangle. I'm going to seal the sides shut really, really well. Then I'm going to take the top of the triangle and I'm going to fold it down towards me. Then I'm going to brush a little egg wash on the other two corners of the triangle and then I'm going to press them together. And there I have my tortellini. So let's watch that one more time. Fold it in a triangle, fold the top point down towards you, brush the other two corners, and then press them together. And there you go, tortellini. And now it's time to cook our tortellini and our ravioli. In well salted boiling water, you're going to drop the pasta into the water. You're not going to cook them all at one time. You don't want to overcrowd the pan because they will stick together, and these cook rather quickly. The ravioli need to boil for about 3 minutes after they rise to the top, and the tortellini, because they have raw meat inside, need to cook for about 5 to 6 minutes after they come to the top. You just take them out nice and gently when they are fully cooked and pair them with your favorite sauce. I chose to put the tortellini with some marinara sauce, and the ravioli I paired with my favorite, melted butter and Parmesan cheese. Hope that you enjoyed this recipe. Let us know if you try it. And don't forget to like this video, subscribe to our channel, and hit that bell for notifications for when we post new videos.